Okay, all right. So if your goal is to train grapplers or fighters, you need a systematic flow of training days that complement each other so that way the grappler or fighter or even a team sport can keep producing at a high output each day and doesn't end up running into overtraining or overstressing the body where speed and strength begin to suffer. So does conditioning. A big issue that we normally have is where do we go when it comes to strength training or conditioning, because we all know that conditioning is more important than actually even strength, especially when it comes to fighters. And as a strength coach, that's hard for some of them to swallow because they don't understand that everything is always built upon strength. But the problem is when it comes to fighting, once the conditioning is out the window, it doesn't matter if you can pick up a fucking car. If you're tired, you can't fight back and you can't be on the offense. So how do we incorporate endurance and conditioning without suffering our strength gains and so on? All right. So I'll try to keep this as simple as possible so that way it's easy to understand, and I'm going to give you examples that make sense to you. Okay? Now, I understand that we're also late in the game, and I have much more in my toolbox to offer you. So it would be great that after this fight come up September 8th, that we could probably start working together and get more of a systematic flow that would be more specialized towards you. So for now, let's just take a look at what you can do and do your best to fit it in what days work best with your schedule. Because I'm not clear with your fighting schedule the way it works for now. But let's just take a look and we'll go from there. All right, so if you look, Monday will be your stimulation day. All right, so that's the blue buck. And that means basically that's the day we're doing a lot of like heavy lifting. Now remember, our heavy lifting, we really don't want to be going around 3 reps or so. I mean, that's okay, but as far as this late into the game, I think 5 reps is perfectly fine. Oh, of course, they're going to start talking when I start talking. Hold on.
19.
Okay, so 5 reps will be sufficient. So you're looking around 90% of what you can do, okay? We're going to go around 3 to 5 sets of 5 reps. If you choose to do 5 sets, just use your first 2 sets as working heavy towards that 5 reps. Now, what's important to understand is that we're not going to be doing a lot, so that's why it's only 3 to 5 sets. That only gives us 3 times 5 is 15 reps. We want just enough to stimulate our nervous system to make us stronger. Now, to keep it extremely simple, look, I did A1, A2. A1 means you're going to perform 1 exercise, then you're going to rest 15 seconds, and then you're going to perform A2. This is a speed complex. Or a power complex, actually. We're going to use a sled push for roughly 10 seconds of time. So that's why I have, where's my finger? Right there, 5 seconds. So you be anywhere between 5 to 10 seconds of work, max, okay? So we're going to load up the sled. You're going to push it as hard and as fast as you can. Now, it's going to be heavy, so it's not going to move fast, for around 5 to 10 seconds. You're going to rest 15 seconds. That is crucial. Do not rest less and do not rest more. It's best just to stay in the 15-second mark. And then you can run a shuttle run back and forth on the carpet at the gym, which would be roughly another 5 to 10 seconds at the very most. You would rest anywhere like, say, 3 minutes, completely rest up, feel good, and then do it again. Remember, we're putting all-out effort, all right? I do not want you to be tired. We want you to be able to push the limit of your strength training at this point, okay? Now, how does that correlate into training as far as like outside the gym into practice? These would be good days to be doing like pad work and takedown drills to a submission. We would want to keep our pad work to 5 to 10 second bursts. So you would work your combo system up into 10 seconds long and you would just blast them out. Blast them out. Take a break. blast them out. Take a break, blast them out. Really work on harnessing that specific drill set, but coming out as fast and as hard as humanly possible. If you begin to start tiring out or slowing down in any way, then you would take a longer break and get back into the pad work. It'd be the same thing with takedowns. This is a very touch and go basis because you have to remember, we do not want you to get tired, okay? We want you to just work on speed and technique today, all right? That's what you're trying to do. Now, if you go into Tuesday, the red block, that's our alactic lactic threshold day. Now, there's the day that all the fighters are very used to. That's the one they know. That's the conditioning day. So that's a better way to explain it. It's conditioning day. That's where we're going to be working up into the 90% of our heart rate, okay? A good way, if you have a heart rate monitor, would be doing, say, oh my God.
53 to 52, y'all need some help in there?
Sorry. God's talking up there. I'm sure they're going to start talking right when I start talking. Okay, so the 130 beats per minute, what that is if you're using a heart rate monitor.
No, I can't do it for right now. I'll probably go through this in a few minutes.
If you're using a heart rate monitor, what you can do at this point is basically run sprints or shuttle sprints, whatever you choose. It could be an airdyne bike, it could be a rower, for anywhere between 30 to 90 seconds, all right? So I would pick like 1 minute intervals, to be honest with you. I'd pick a 1 minute interval and rest until your heart rate hit 130 beats. At that point, you can bump it back up and start going as high as you can at 90% heart rate, all right, for another minute. You can do roughly around, depending on how tired you're getting, up to 10 to 15 different rounds like this. Now, remember, you're going to be gassed out and wanting to die, and that's the whole point because this is the conditioning day, okay? If you don't want to do running or sprinting or anything like that, you could do body weight complexes. As simple as just doing basically like Tabatas, such as 20 seconds on with squats and then take 10 seconds off, and then 20 seconds on with, say, burpees or sprawls, and then you would take 10 seconds off again, and then you could do mountain climbers, you could do sit-throughs. You need to do things that are going to keep you moving at a faster rate, though. Try to stay away from things like push-ups too much because you don't want something that's going to be isolating more of a body part. You would like something that's really going to be pumping the lungs out really hard. But I mean, it is only 20 seconds of work. So basically, body weight complexes with Tabatas right now would be a better thing for you because that would be easier than stressing your muscle with weights. Okay. Now, as far as what to do in practice, that would be your hard round days, okay? Those are the days where, like they put you through the gauntlet, if Tim still does this, where you've got one fresh person for every minute coming in, okay? These are the rounds that are gonna kill you, okay? That's the day we're pushing for that lactate threshold. You could also wear a heart monitor on those days, okay? You could actually do your rounds, and then the minute your heart rate gets down to 130 beats, get back in there and then start the next round instead of just kind of waiting for a minute. It's really up to you. It could be done either by sparring, and it could also be done by just hard grappling rounds, the same thing, okay? So there's your conditioning day. That's the day that most of them are pretty familiar with. Now, Wednesday would be your recovery day. You gotta have a recovery day. But what are we supposed to do on a recovery day, okay? Well, a big mistake that most fighters do is they do nothing, okay? The two biggest mistakes that fighters do is, one, they either do absolute nothing, which our bodies are always best in a state of motion, so we work better recovering through movement, or they go hard again because that's all they know. Hard, go, okay? So we can't always go. So Wednesday would be like a recovery day. This would be good to go do things like yoga, if you remember at Reds, if you're a member of any place that has yoga, doing yoga on YouTube. And what I mean by yoga, we would be like basic yoga, stretching yoga, things that are really going to allow you to recover and mitigate that soreness that you probably developed from the day before from conditioning. Also, you can get up early in the morning. You can do a light stretch. You can run for 15 minutes at a very, very low pace, okay? You do not need to run more than 15 minutes. It's completely unnecessary. You can actually take your fast twitch fibers and convert them to slow twitch fibers. So don't run past 15 minutes. Stretch 10, 15 minutes. Jog for 15 minutes. And then you can go to a yoga class later on. I would suggest doing this. I would wake up in the morning. I would pray, meditate, whatever it is, stretch, jog for 15 minutes, enjoy my time, eat. I could go to the gym. This is a good day to drill. I'm barely ever even breaking a sweat at this point. I'm just harnessing my skills. I'm working on my game plan. I'm working on being smooth with my movements. I'm not trying to get any conditioning or actually work in. I'm just trying to mentally train on this day. Then at night, when it's all said and done, maybe I have another drilling session and then I can finish it off with a good yoga class. That would be a good recovery day. When you get to Thursday, you're basically going to repeat the process on Monday, okay? Except I gave you an example of now a heavy military press, resting 15 seconds, and then you could do a med ball chest pass throw. Remember, only use like an 8-pound ball. You need the most ballistic action possible. Don't pick up a 15-pound ball or a 20-pound ball. It's completely pointless at this point in time, especially this close to a fight. And it's just actually stupid. So what you also can do is you can run sprints for 5 seconds or so, just like we did on Monday, okay? But Monday I gave you a lower body explosive day. Thursday we're doing an upper body explosive day. And it's just for basic principles of understanding. Now, your sprints, remember, you're resting away from 45 seconds to a minute. And that's getting close to incomplete rest as you start to get tired. So at any point, if you begin to get really, really tired, then just rest longer. This is the day you're not supposed to be tired. Remember this. This is a repeat from Monday. This is a stimulation day. All right? And if you go to our next block on Friday, you see that we're going back to Tuesday. This is back to conditioning day. Another good heavy day of conditioning, working on creating a higher lactate threshold in our body, working maybe a little bit harder than we did on the Tuesday before, and vice versa. You could either do it necessarily doing your sprint work or your body weight complexes, or just doing like a little bit harder rounds in the gym, okay? And then Saturday would be another recovery day just like you had on Wednesday, okay? So you would wake up, you would eat, pray, stretch, go for a light jog, come back, have another snack, go on to practice. You would drill, you would take it easy, you would not try to sweat or do much. Go home, eat again, relax, come back, drill again, catch a yoga class, and then spend time with your loved ones, this and that, and go to sleep. Now, Sunday, you could start the process over, but you're just going to have to mitigate on how you feel. Sunday might be another day like Saturday, and that tends to happen as things get more and more difficult, especially when you start getting into those hard conditioning days in the gym itself. And I'm not talking about necessarily in the weight room. I'm talking about in those hard sparring rounds, because it really takes a toll on your body. So 2 severely hard sparring rounds and conditioning as far as in the gym can really take a toll on your body. Sometimes you feel that maybe you're not training or you're not putting out enough, and that could be a possibility, but that's more something to work in with your coach. But you have to be smart about your training, so that way each week you're coming in a little harder, or at least keeping up that potential of workload, so that way you are working each day close as you can to your 100% of effort. So that way you're able to keep putting output over and over without burning out. Okay, so I hope this helps clear things up. Like I said, I'm going to come in and get things a lot more detailed as time goes on, as I learn more and more and more. But for the basis of right now, I've used this system. It works extremely well. It gives you a good breakdown of how you should be actually doing something every day, but it actually tells you what you should be doing every day. So feel free to mix match if you need to on certain days, so that way this makes sense to you. And just please make sure, if anything, that you're always having a recovery day after your conditioning days. Those are by far the most important. Okay, all right, best of luck. If you have any questions, let me know.